Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page, in which I talk about common sense. And I try to keep it down under the nitty-gritty in 10 minutes. These videos are not for the general masses. Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page. My page is about common sense, but I try to keep it down nitty-gritty under 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, something very, very, very important and not important to liberals, libertarians, people who believe in God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like ayahuasca, people like DMT. Woo! Going once, going twice, and no sell. All right, okay. So this video, again, is about the same topics over and over again, because sometimes there's people who don't get the message. And the reason why I get bumps, okay, is because sometimes I like to eat so-called oil, okay? And oils are not good for you. Okay, it happens. Chocolate and oil is not a good combination. I know my body very well. And I said, oh, I ate some chicken, lemon chicken. But anyway, if you have any comments, questions, insults, or roast fest, you put it down below. If you have any comments, questions, insults, or roast fest, you put it down below. As I've mentioned this many times before, you're going to have to stop conversating with NPCs. I made this video. I swear to God, I did. When you learn that what common sense is something that most people don't have, right? So when you tell people you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So you have to stop the conversation so they can drink the knowledge. Or they have to sit there and patiently listen to you. Do not waste your time. Do not throw your pearls to swine. Because what they'll do, they'll ridicule you, make fun of you, or throw ad hominem attacks. Start off the conversation by giving them a test. Religious people, you should not talk to them. Anyone who's religious with that God shit, that religious shit, that Mary Joseph and Mary Christian faith, or even a Muslim. You can't, they're lost. They don't understand the God from within. They don't know that. They have to focus on without. You must stay away from those individuals. The first thing you'll know is that they'll start talking about God, because when you start talking about the devil, okay, then they get scared. Then the best way is you use dark psychology to figure it shit out. Satanists are not bad people, okay? Sadist people are not bad people. It's just that when you communicate, you have to communicate effectively. And usually, if you tell someone, I don't like bullies at one bit, okay? And then you add and interject, even if it's a lie, okay? Let's lie and see what they say. What is their reaction? Use a bit of dark psychology and say, hey, I burned bullies' houses down, and see what their reaction is. My demons burns people's houses down. Say stuff like that. That will trigger something in their head. Either they'll go to religion saying, I don't believe in the devil. And I said, okay, then why you smoke? Okay, because the Bible clearly tells you shouldn't smoke. Are you a whore? Okay, because most people, when you try to point out their flaws and their sins, they don't believe in the God with themselves. They believe in fear, false evidence appearing real. Okay, so we know this is a fact. So you point out these things and they'll get upset. That's when you have to cut it. Okay, that helps a lot, right? An NPC is a non-playable character who cannot think for themselves. An EDB is an emotional douchebag. They use their emotions as a way to cover up, or they'll use religion as a way of covering up their flaws. Religion is just a tool, peoples. We know that the agnostics know it's false. The Native Americans know it's false. The true Africans know of the real deities that came down. But I believe everything is false because I have not seen these things. You have to be agnostic and Gnostic at the same time, because you are skeptic. You do not know anything. Just like Socrates, the wisest man of all time, in Greek philosophy, Greek knowledge, okay? I don't know if these individuals were. Even in the Bible, it tells you King Solomon's the wisest, more wiser than Jesus, because he's the one who controlled demons in the first place, goddamn it. Resurrection, everybody will be resurrected, okay? It tells you in the Bible, if you really clearly understand the Bible, like I have, and I have read it, and I point to certain scriptures, and then you try to debunk the scriptures, debunk it, you already know that the Bible is fiction regardless of which way you go. There are people who are just bent on it's a fact. I swear to you, okay? And you have to tell them why it's not a fact. Then you have to go back in history, telling them facts like there are older religions than Christianity. There's older religions than the Nation of Islam. Do not continue no further. If they do not acknowledge those two facts, that there are older religions than Christianity, and there are older religions than the Nation of Islam, do not continue. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. All right, okay. Since they lack the education, do not no further communicate with them about God. When you tell people that you are God and you chose to come here, that opens up a third box in their head that they have not comprehended. They have not thought. When I was 7 years old, I knew religion was a tool, because when you ask certain questions, they will never be answered properly. Whenever there's confusion, there is no God in this world. The only gods that exist is you and me as individually, okay? Individualism is a form of God. The God particle exists. Everything is always moving scientifically. I don't know anything by fact. You can read about it, but then you can use common sense. All right. You don't even know if I am real. All right. So we got that. Do you understand? What's the terminology that you use when you can't believe anything unless you have ironclad evidence without being manipulated by some sort of source somewhere? What is that word? I don't think that word exists. Synopsis. The world does revolve around you, my brother and sisters, and all third sexes, and all of you alien beings and your werewolves and your bats who are in human form. The world does revolve around you because you are the center of your world. Not sounding narcissistic, no, okay? Well, I'm not trying to be selfish or like using certain psychopathy or anything. I'm just saying the world revolves around you. I am outside yourself. Do you understand that philosophy? You understand that's common sense, right? The world revolves around you. I am outside your world. You must focus in within yourself. Everything else is a distraction. So if you can't understand that simple concept and you're still thinking, oh, you're thinking narcissistic. No, we're not talking about narcissism. Okay? Anyone who calls you a narcissist is an NPC EDB. They do not have an open mind. Do not continue the conversation. You cannot continue. You must be silent. Say certain things and let them sit there and ponder. If they do not ponder your thought and you tell them shit like God doesn't exist, and stop, don't add anything. Let them say it. They'll talk about the Bible. Then you know their limitations is within external sources, not within their sources. You can either ask questions and say, hey, you can either say, hey, do you want to know why? If they don't like to ask questions, then you know they're gone. They're already gone. People who ask questions start to understand how the way you think rather than just making assumptions like an ass. The word assumptions has ASS at the beginning, correct? You're an ass because you are making assumptions. This is why I tell you people, stop judging a book because of certain things they say or how the way they sound. Understand why they think those things, okay? Then you can be a therapist. Then you can jot down things and get your own anecdotal experiences. Your own anecdotal experiences. Fuck everybody else's experience, okay? You can take some pointers of what they say, you know, if they're testimonial, take the testimony and jot it down to your personal experiences. I'm telling you. My personal experiences could be different from your personal experiences. I believe that every individual is their own culture within itself because culture always comes from at least one or two people, then they start a group, okay? Just like agnostic is a form of a group, being atheist is a form of a group because their raison d'etre within their own minds have they made a decision. And there's a reason why. That's why life is so beautiful and so unorthodox and so unpredictable. And that's all I really got to say about this, okay? Because I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. And that's all I really got to say. If you have any questions, I make mistakes too when I speak sometimes. But it's usually I will I watch my videos again and I say, okay, correction. Okay, I usually put it down. But no one is perfect. All right? Other than that, yeah, have a nice day. Peace.